The message arrived on a Tuesday. Across Earth, satellite arrays detected unusual signals coming from beyond Neptune. These were not random space noise or known phenomena. They were clearly artificial. Within hours, world leaders from major nations convened in an emergency secret meeting. President Ney stood at the head of the conference table, her expression grave. The data is conclusive. We are being watched by an advanced civilization. Defense Minister Li tapped his tablet, projecting images onto the main screen. Their vessels maintain position just beyond our detection threshold. If not for our new deep space radar system, we might never have noticed them. They clearly don't want us to know they're there, said Director Song of Global Intelligence. The question is why? Observation, preparation for contact, or something worse. The room fell silent as the implications settled in. It was Science Minister Min who finally spoke. If they wanted to attack, they could have done so already. Their technology must be far beyond ours. Then we need to catch up, President Ness said firmly. And quickly, without alerting them that we know they're watching. Thus began the Advanced Defense Initiative, ADI, the most secretive and ambitious project in human history. 6 months after Earth discovered the alien surveillance, the Galactic Empire finally made their move. 3 massive ships entered Earth's atmosphere, hovering above major cities. Their design was elegant yet intimidating, gleaming silver hulls with blue energy lines pulsing along their length. Global markets crashed. Religious leaders called emergency sermons. Military forces worldwide went to highest alert, though no one fired a shot. The aliens had made no aggressive moves, simply positioning themselves in plain sight. The first message came on all frequencies in perfect English and every major Earth language simultaneously. People of Earth, we are representatives of the Galactic Imperial Alliance. We come to welcome you to the greater community of spacefaring civilizations. Within a day, a meeting was arranged at the United Nations headquarters. Ambassador Du Young, a seasoned diplomat known for his calm demeanor, was selected to represent humanity's interests. Privately, he had been briefed about the ADI program, though not its specific capabilities. The imperial delegation consisted of 3 beings who looked surprisingly human, save for their unusual height and faintly bluish skin. Their leader introduced himself as Emissary Cole. "We have observed your world for some time," Cole stated as the talks began. "Your species shows remarkable potential despite your technological limitations." Do Young smiled politely. "We appreciate your interest in our world. What exactly brings the Empire to Earth now?" "Protection and opportunity," Cole replied smoothly. He activated a small device that projected a holographic map of the galaxy. "This sector has become increasingly dangerous. Pirates, resource raiders, and rival powers all pose threats to developing worlds like yours." The discussion continued for hours. The Empire offered advanced technology, medical breakthroughs, and access to interstellar trade routes. In exchange, they required only reasonable accommodations. Earth would provide raw materials, establish imperial bases on the Moon and Mars, and accept imperial oversight of Earth's technological development. "For your own protection," Cole emphasized. Behind closed doors, Earth's leaders recognized the offer for what it was: colonization with a friendly face. "They're offering us a cage made of gold," President Ness said during the imperial ultimatum expired at midnight. When Earth's leaders requested more time to consider the generous offer, the Empire responded with a demonstration of power. 3 military installations, 1 in the Pacific, 1 in the Arctic, and 1 in the Sahara, were destroyed by energy beams fired from orbit. The message was clear: agree to our terms, or face the consequences. In the underground facility beneath the Gangwon Mountains, Commander Jai-ho watched the footage of the attacks with a clenched jaw. The casualties numbered in the hundreds. It could have been millions if the Empire had targeted cities instead. "How soon can we launch?" Jai-ho asked, turning to his chief engineer. Sun Mai wiped sweat from her brow. She had been working 20-hour days for weeks. The Harbinger is at 87% completion. The quantum shields work in testing, but we haven't after the destruction of the Imperial frigate. The Empire's response was swift and overwhelming. A distortion appeared near Saturn as a massive wormhole tore open space itself. Through this artificial portal emerged an Imperial battle group. 12 warships, each many times larger than the Harbinger. "They're not taking any chances," Taiwan observed from his weapon station. The tactical display showed the Imperial vessels moving into attack formation. Jeho studied the situation. Fighting in open space against such overwhelming force would be suicide. The Harbinger's advantages were its maneuverability and surprise technology, not brute firepower. "Plot a course for Saturn," Jeho ordered. "We'll use the rings." Sun Ma looked up from her engineering console with concern. "The rings are dangerous, Captain. All that ice and rock. One collision at our speeds would breach the hull." "The Empire ships won't fare any better," Jeho replied. "And they're much bigger targets." As the Harbinger accelerated toward the ringed planet, Imperial ships gave chase. The first shots from their energy cannons streaked past, missing by kilometers but demonstrating their impressive range. "They're trying to catch us before we reach the rings," Han Gil reported, detecting targeting locks from multiple vessels. Jeho gripped his command chair. Evasive pattern delta. All power to engines. The Harbinger danced through space, its experimental engines pushing the ship to speeds no Earth vessel had ever achieved. Behind them, the Imperial fleet separated, attempting to cut off their escape routes. "They're predicting our course." The Battle of Saturn had ended with the destruction of the Imperial flagship, a massive dreadnought that now existed only as expanding debris among the planet's beautiful rings. On the bridge of the Harbinger, emergency lighting cast red shadows across the faces of the exhausted crew. The ship had sustained critical damage, with life support functioning at minimum capacity and hull breaches sealed by emergency force fields. Jeho wiped blood from a cut above his eye and checked the status of his crew. Taiwan was nursing a broken arm, but still managed his weapons console one-handed. Sun Mai had suffered burns while manually rerouting power during the battle, yet she remained at her post, monitoring the failing engines. Dr. Han Gil moved between injured crew members, applying medical treatments with their dwindling supplies. "Status report," Jeho requested, his voice hoarse from shouting orders during the battle. "Weapons at 12% capacity," Taiwan reported. One phase cannon operational. Missile tubes damaged beyond repair. Sun Mi shook her head. "Main drive offline. Auxiliary power at 26%. Life support will last another 8 hours, maybe 10 if we power down non-essential systems." "Communications?" Jeho asked. Han Gil looked up from treating a junior officer. "Long-range comms are functioning, but barely. We can receive, but our transmitter was damaged in the final exchange." The bridge fell silent. They had achieved the impossible. A single Earth vessel had defeated an Imperial battle group, but at what appeared to be the cost of their lives. Without propulsion, they were stranded in Saturn's orbit, too far from Earth for rescue with conventional spacecraft. Suddenly, the communications console chimed. A voice cut through the static. "Harbinger, this is Earth Command. Do you copy? Commander Jeho, please respond." Jeho moved to the console. "This is Harbinger. We copy, but our transmitter is damaged. We can receive only." As if understanding their predicament, the voice continued without waiting for a response. "If you can hear us, Commander, we have news. The Empire's communications network is in chaos. Reports of your victory are spreading throughout their territories. The prototypes Talon and Phoenix have successfully launched and are en route to your position. Estimated arrival: 14 hours. Hold position and conserve life support." A collective sigh of relief swept through the bridge. They weren't alone. 6 days later, a much different meeting took place in the same United Nations chamber where the Empire had first presented their ultimatum. This time, the Imperial delegation was smaller, Just emissary Cole and two advisors. Their formerly confident demeanor had vanished, replaced by tight expressions and cautious movements. Across from them sat Earth's representatives, including President Na, Director Song, and at the center, Commander Jai-Ho, still bearing the visible wounds from his battle but sitting straight and proud. "The Supreme Council has authorized me to offer revised terms," Cole began, his voice lacking its previous condescension. "The Empire recognizes Earth's sovereignty and right to independent development." President Na smiled thinly. "That's generous, considering one of our ships destroyed your elite fleet." Cole flinched slightly. "An unfortunate misunderstanding. We had not realized humanity had advanced so quickly in certain technologies." Director Song leaned forward. "And now that you do understand, what exactly are you proposing?" "A true alliance," Cole said. "Equal exchange of knowledge, trade routes open to Earth vessels, and a non-aggression pact." Jai-Ho watched the proceedings with quiet satisfaction. In the 2 weeks since the battle, Earth had changed profoundly. Nations once at odds now cooperated closely on space defense. The ADI program had gone public, revealing not just the Harbinger's capabilities, but the existence of 12 more prototype vessels under construction. More surprisingly, encrypted messages had arrived from other worlds within the Empire, species who had suffered under Imperial rule and now saw humanity as potential liberators. The galaxy was far more complex than they had initially understood. After the meeting, Jai-Ho stood at a window overlooking New York Harbor, where people went about their daily lives, most still adjusting to the reality of Earth's new position in the galaxy. President Ned joined him. "The Empire is only the beginning. Their enemies will come next, seeking alliances or testing our strength." Jai-Ho nodded. "Then we better be ready." "You and your crew will lead the way," she said. "The Harbinger is being repaired and upgraded. Once it's ready, you'll take command of Earth's first official diplomatic mission to the stars." Jai-Ho thought of his brave crew and the sacrifices they had made. He thought of the unknown challenges waiting among the stars. But mostly, he thought of how quickly everything had changed. How humanity had gone from an isolated species to a rising power that had caught the attention of an entire galaxy. "We'll be ready," he said simply, looking up at the afternoon sky, where, invisible in the daylight, but undeniably present, the stars awaited.